makes me realize a lot of y'all fashion folks are ruining so much clothes. Like the way that y'all can buy so much and then just stop wearing that whole style the next few days. And that's one of the other points that it was making in the book Filter World. It's basically we are running through so much trends to the point where we're getting to that no man's land of there's nothing left to try out because of when we are being led by algorithms, we tend to consume a lot more because of the way that Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram are designed. It's for you to just to keep consuming, sit down and don't question anything, don't look any deeper than the thing that it's trying to show you. Because it was like when The Sopranos got like the 25th anniversary was this year and everyone was like there's promo and everything for that. The way and how fast so many folks went from clean girl aesthetic to try and be an Italian mob aesthetic, and the fact that it's already over, y'all missed out on how deep the fashion really is. Like the reason why people were wearing those type of clothes during that time has a story behind it. The reason why they're looking and wearing those types of colors and those mute tones and stuff like that, there's reason. But no, y'all went and just bought clothes, consumed, and now you're on to the next thing without even looking at the music that was playing during those times where the designers were making the stuff.
I feel like we need to apply that more to people too. The reason that you have a special needs aunt is because she was eating lead paint and was breathing in unleaded gas. Or no, she's breathing in leaded gas. So it's like she wouldn't have been like this. It was she had a chance, but unfortunate.
Oh God. Do you feel like music today, right? Music today is being so not just watered down, but the type of music that is being promoted, I feel like that's not the type of music that artists even want to make anymore.
I think that's hard because I feel like we have more control over music now than we ever have as consumers because labels have kind of all lost all their steam because they don't really have any hold over the artist anymore. There's no reason for you to sign to a label unless you are really talking about like major distribution, which is like basically radio play, but then also
why do you even need radio
listening
play?
To the radio? So I think that now is a better time for music than ever if you are more into like wider genres and stuff. Like a lot of what I listen to, not like I'm listening to a wide variety of songs, but like there will be entire days where all I'm listening to is like cumbia or dembow or Brazilian funk. I don't even know what they're saying.
Question: is it the mainstream stuff? When you do dabble in these other cultures and stuff like that?
I will say this: a hit is a hit.
Okay, yeah.
I can go through a whole playlist, pick out 6 songs that I like, and those are like the most 6 popular songs on the whole playlist.
Okay, so the algorithm knows what type of music will make a hit.
I'm listening to whoever made the playlist, whether it's I'm not listening to too many Spotify playlists anymore. It's mostly just whoever puts it. I'll just search Dembo and like whatever's the first one, right?
Oh, okay.
And then if I've listened to that one too many times, I'll go to the next one, right? So, but every song that I pick out is like one of these songs. Like one that was trending recently, Robot Rock, the Brazilian funk song, where I don't know if you know Daft Punk. They have a song called Robot Rock. So they just twisted it and just put like basically like some drugs. It's fire though. It's fire.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's like one of the more just like mainstream popular songs. I don't think that if you're not understanding the lyrical content, there's nothing for you to like be deep cut about.
Okay.
So a hit is a hit. I can literally just go pick them all out without knowing anything about the culture.
Okay. That's fair. I feel like the playlist example kind of helps my point about the way that how culture is just getting flattened because of like before we had actual people behind what we listen to and now it's like algorithmic things being the reason why we're listening to those things. So the fact that the algorithm was able to set up these songs and then put it in everybody's face for so long that it became the main thing that they put on every single playlist, I feel like that makes all the sound kind of like merge into one. Like the main example that I was thinking about recently, there's this one grunge alt band, right? They went and they made a whole album the way that they usually make it. And then one of the songs, they're like, you know what? Let's make a mainstream, a regular drum type of song. And that was a song that went completely viral. It went viral on TikTok, went viral on Instagram. Everyone was listening to it and got to the point where that was their most listened to song. And they got genuinely upset because of now when people are coming to the concert, they literally only wanted that one song. And it kind of just circumvented all the work that they're putting in to be grunge and alt and completely different.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories like that. There's this one Asian dude, I think he's Japanese. He does a lot of Japanese like crossover. He did this whole video where he just basically explained how he made this one song, and he kind of had like a similar story. He's like, I do just kind of like he takes a concept and then turns it into an album. So I think the concept for that album was like 80s pop artists wanting to be an idol in the 80s in Japan. I think that was the concept, right? So he just made this whole album, and then there's this one song called like, it's like Jolene or Roxanne, something like that, right? And it's so much more popular than all the rest of his songs. He's fully acknowledges that he'll probably have to perform that song for the rest of his life. There are people that only go to his show to listen to that one song. He's done hella stuff before. He's done a couple
hella shit after.
He went to Japan because of this song and collaborated with so many different artists. He does really nice videos too. But he just kind of understands that there are just some things that just are popular, whether that be because it's trending currently or because it's more familiar. Tyler Creator had the same kind of sentiment with Earthquake. Okay. When everybody's like, well, you can't make a pop song, because he was doing kind of more underground-ish stuff. And then he put out Earthquake, and he was saying, I told everybody in the room, I guarantee you this is gonna be my biggest song. And he's like, you know what's gonna be my most popular song after that on the same album, New Magic Wand. Everybody's gonna come to the show to see New Magic Wand. And there's just certain things when you really study the music, there's not a lot it's not like mystical. It's concrete. It's math almost. There's everything to understand. And once you understand, you really looking at it, and that's your career, there's not like mistakes to be made. There's certain keys that people like. There's certain chord progressions that people like. And then you just put it with some, relatable, basic lyrical content. That's what Doja Cat always is complaining about. She's like, why are my most popular songs stuff that I hate? Like, it's just like the most BS pop, like without a thought.
I love this one dude, but he don't love me back.
And that's just what's the most relatable to the most people. And then you put a good beat behind it.
There's no reason for people not to love this song more than your other stuff. But do you think that like ruins the culture?
I have interesting gripes with the algorithm.
Okay.
Because as much as the algorithm does control what you consume, you are the algorithm. The algorithm isn't going to show you stuff you don't like. It's not going to show you stuff that you won't interact with.
I find a problem with that, basically because of the algorithm won't show you stuff that you don't like, but it will show you stuff that you kind of like. For example, Netflix. There's this one individual that went and then he made 5 different styles of Netflix, 5 different accounts for 5 completely quote unquote different people. A sports head, a rom-com lover, a history buff, and then a girl's girl, whatever, however he explained it. Yeah. And basically he was able to make completely one note character arcs for these each and individual Netflix accounts, right? And then once he changed it up to watch, like, let's say a Fast and Furious movie, it went and just kept showing them Fast and Furious stuff over and over and over. But this is a major problem in an algorithm like YouTube, where all you have to do is watch one MrBeast video, and now you're MrBeast's biggest complete fan.
I think Netflix is a different animal altogether just because of how they have their money tied up in their content. But I do agree with what you're saying because it applies to Twitter. But Twitter's always been like this though. It's just a lot of like race bait, a lot of just like
degeneracy,
just people just like scaring people, kind of sort of. It's like fear mongering a little bit. And while that may be not something that you enjoy, it is something that drives engagement. It drives comments, likes, shares, time looking at certain posts, scrolls, if you will. Like, it does make you stay on the app. So as much as you may not enjoy it, if you are straying from your pattern, you know what I'm saying? If you are going one day, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, I think the algorithm recognizes that over time you change as a person.
Okay.
So it's not fair to just keep showing you the same stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're getting old, you're growing up.
That's true. But my whole thing is, it only shows you the most mainstream versions of the thing that you like, right? So now you don't get a chance to devolve into, I don't know, the more niche products that has to be offered. Like, for example, Amazon. Well, not Amazon, but Amazon, like the books, like the Amazon bookstore. the way that they format their algorithm to sell you books is literally based off of the most selling books for each like type of book to buy. But the crazy thing about books, not everyone should like all books. So the type of stuff that literally can't get put to the forefront never do. Unlike if you went to like a bookstore like Barnes and Noble, like next door.
Okay, I'll do it like this, right? So we make a podcast. You watch other podcasts. Are there other podcasts that you watch that you wonder, how did these people get in this position to where they're getting 100,000 or so views per video? Are you watching this going, how did these people even garner a viewership? Because their content is just objectively not entertaining. Where I think the difference between mainstream and not is how does it apply to the most people? There are people like academics where you can appreciate what academics does if you like hip hop and if you like, just general flagrancy and and just being beyond brutally honest. He takes it a little far sometimes, right? Not that Ack is as mainstream as you can get for what he does, but there's also not a lot of people that do hip hop media streams.
To that point, yeah.
So Ack is pretty underground. Do you watch Ack? And that's what I'm saying. Okay. There are certain things that just apply. Logan Paul just kind of applies generally. Joe Rogan just kind of applies generally. 95 South, this is where we get a bit more, that's kind of more specific to like a more Southern audience or like maybe even a black audience. But I would say more Southern just because they're all Southern dudes. And a lot of the
comedy only works if you're around that type of stuff.
There's that, but also the guests that they have on, they know their brand. So a lot of those people will be like more, Southern icons, your Rick Ross's, T.I. kind of people. Not like they don't have other people on, but
those are the main people that do get on and they get the most views.
And they know their niche and they do it really, really well. They, I would also say, are the biggest in what they do. But are you watching 85 South every week?
Fair.
So there are just certain things that apply generally to the most people. This is why you have like most TV stations where there's no cussing in the TV shows or movies, because that's just the most applicable to most people. You don't have a lot of blood because that's what applies to the most people. I do get what you're saying to where it becomes repetitive and like derivative of each other, but that's kind of what life is. Like how do you have the opinions you have? Your parents, the people around you, the way you got bullied and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But my whole thing is, I feel like people don't understand how engrossing the algorithm can really get to, especially when you have algorithms that function as part of your phone, in the sense that they have access to like the other algorithms that you're using, to the point where it doesn't take too much to point you in a direction and have you go down that said rabbit hole. Like individuals that are buying things on Amazon that they don't really need, only because they're being shown it so many times, or they're connecting that feeling to something else and they want to like buy those type of stuff. Okay. Interesting. Well, continue.
I was just gonna say, I think a lot of it kind of boils down to like how counterculture is it for what is like culture in America, if that makes sense.
I'm confused.
Like, I think how applicable things are to like what you want. Like, yeah, let's just go on to the next thing. Fuck it. Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun.